Now, we're moving more towards the positive hypothesis that Damasio wants us to consider. When we are faced with experiential situations, something right in front of us, something that we remember, something that we consider about a possible course of action in the future, especially when we're trying to apply our practical rationality, we often have emotional reactions to those things. You might look at a picture of a disturbing image. You might look at a picture of a very happy image. You might watch videos on your computer of bear cubs playing on a hammock in somebody's backyard. When their backyard abuts a forest, for example, there are often amusing videos you can find online of things like bear cubs frolicking on a hammock and making merry. It's often a good way to improve your mood, at least I find, to watch bear cubs playing on a hammock or in somebody's swimming pool. Watching those images can produce emotions in you. Imagery often is rife with emotional content. Likewise, you might be able to activate a memory, some good experience of your childhood or some traumatic experience of your childhood, the activation of which might bring a certain emotional response. Likewise, when you think about a possible future situation, perhaps you're daydreaming about how fun it will be to go on the vacation with your friends, the one that you've planned and are very much looking forward to, that might result in an emotional reaction to you as well. So notice that, and as Damasio points out, our images, our mental images that we form, can also have emotional contours about them, so to speak. Those images that you call up are often generally visual, but not necessarily just visual. You could have, so to speak, auditory images. Some people are able to call up tactile or olfactory images. Some people can remember how something tasted that they've eaten before. That would be a sort of gustatory experiential image. Notice also that when you're experiencing the world, either by virtue of perception of what's happening in real time, or because you're remembering things from the past, or because you're imagining possible situations in the future or how things might have gone, contrary to the way things actually have gone, those experiences, those images are often, as Damasio will put it, marked in a certain way for you. So think about a case such as getting an email or maybe even a hard copy letter from an old friend that you haven't seen for a very long time, you've lost track of, you've been wishing for a while you could get back in touch with that friend. There's that line in your inbox in your email, or there's that letter in your mailbox. You might look at that and your heart flutters in the course of doing so. You're delighted to receive, because you can see the return address, for example, you're delighted to receive that letter from a person that you've been looking forward to getting back in touch with. That is to say, that envelope or that line on your inbox, whatever it may be, is going to be, as Damasio will describe it, somatically marked. That's a kind of technical term. It's marked in the sense that experientially, it jumps out at you. It's vivid. It almost screams out your name. It's somatically, Damasio will say, somatically marked because its ability to jump out at you depends upon your body's reaction. There will be chemicals, neurological events, neurotransmitters activated of various kinds that will make it possible for you to experience that event in the vivid, powerful way that you do. So the idea is this, then. An object in experience can be somatically marked, Damasio will say, because it calls up an emotion, but it's not as if there's an emotion over here and an experience over there. Rather, for Damasio, items of perception, including memory, including prospective thought about the future, are going to themselves be somatically marked because they, so to speak, shimmer with an emotional contour. You contemplate longingly the prospect of going on that day trip with your friends. You contemplate with a shudder or cringingly that embarrassing thing that you did last week, for example. Those are all cases of experiences being somatically marked. So Damasio is going to be forwarding what he calls the somatic marker hypothesis. And for him, the somatic marker hypothesis essentially is the following: that our bodies react emotionally to situations that present themselves in experience, and that bodily reaction is itself manifested in how they present themselves as being attractive, cringeworthy, hand over face, run away, jump out at the thing, whatever. Your body will have a response, and that response that your body has is going to be manifested in how the thing appears to you perceptually. That's a very important, for me, central aspect of Damasio's positive proposal. And I want you to think a little bit about your experience. When you're contemplating your past, when you're thinking about what you might do in the future, when you're going through your emails, your letters, your texts, various other kinds of messages, communications with other people. Some of the things in your experience will be plain, will be relatively neutral. Some other things will be charged in a certain way. And Damasio will say those charges, whether they're positive or negative, are various forms of somatic markedness, where that charge comes from is your body's response to the experience that you get from those memories, current events, or contemplation of future possibilities.